Did you know that people have been making millions of dollars online since 1999? To give you a perspective of when that was, I was 5 years old at the time. But there were people online crushing it, making millions of dollars just by using free traffic from Google and this was like before Google AdWords or Google Ads or Facebook ads. Facebook wasn't even born at the time. This is before you can even advertise on most of these online platforms. Well, in today's video, I interview Mike Long and Gregory Morrison from the OMG Machines community, which is an online community, underground community that also makes literal millionaires from scratch just by using free traffic from Google. Mike and Greg have simply just been running the whole internet marketing community for such a long time. So I'm really happy that I was able to get them on an interview today. It took some time for Mike Long to accept my interview request, but after a few months of consistent emails asking him to come onto the channel, he's finally agreed to do so. So in today's video, I have him and Greg on, and I'm gonna ask them some questions, so let's get right into it. Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Ruan, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I have Mike Long and Greg Morrison on the call, who are just the internet marketing kung fu. These guys are responsible for tons and tons and tons of millionaire examples. You know, they are definitely the highest mastermind that I can think of when it comes to SEO, YouTube paid ads, etc. So I'm going to start off the video by going ahead and letting you guys introduce yourself. Mike, do you want to start?
Sure, absolutely. Do you, are you the one who kind of controls like who's in the center frame of the camera or whatever? I don't know exactly. I've done too many Zoom interviews.
Yeah, I think how it works is when it's recording, it'll just go to you while you're talking.
Okay, all right, it sounds great. Well, my name is Mike Long, and I'm one of the co-founders of OMGmachines.com along with Greg Morrison over here and our brilliant strategist partner, David Mills. And I've been in internet marketing for like a long time. I started my first website in 1998. It was e-commerce selling Magic the Gathering, and I started another one to sell Pokemon, which is called Pokepage.com. And you know, I just got in really, really early into the internet marketing world. Pretty early, my friend David Mills sparked an interest. We were both top-ranked Magic the Gathering world champion level players. I was a 3-time world champion, so we knew each other from that. And David, when he saw what I was doing with my websites, he really sparked an interest for him, and so he started getting involved. And pretty soon we launched an information product on Magic the Gathering, actually teaching people how to play. And crazily enough, we got people who were really not very successful at all with that game, were typically our customers, and we got them winning tournaments like crazy. One of my all-time favorite pictures of the world is one of our members, who I know for a fact was not that good when he joined, holding up a world championship trophy and a $40,000 check for winning a Magic World Championship tournament, Dave Sharfman. And of course, he put a lot of work into that. It wasn't like he read my book and then, took a pill and became successful. But anyways, we had a lot of success with our members, and then people started coming to us in the internet marketing world and saying, hey, could you consult, could you launch for us? So we helped launch Traffic Secrets, which is the world's first $1 million day, all by affiliate marketing, in 2004. In 2005 we helped product launch Formula, and then in 2006 we did $14 million in sales in this project called StomperNet. And it was an SEO for e-commerce business for coaching, and we launched it. It was really, really explosive on the sales end. Me and David managed it, and I did most of the marketing for it. And we really knew that we had something explosive at our fingertips, but what we hadn't solved the puzzle at that time was how to see, when we were coaching Magic, our members were really successful, but we were really worn out. I mean, I can make it sound good, but it was like we were working like 14-hour days because we were having to keep up with all these scientific updates in Magic the Gathering. As you know, it's very competitive, a lot like internet marketing can be. It changes a lot, on purpose. And so we would have to do, Greg, I don't even know if I've ever said it to you this way, but me and David would just wear ourselves out. By day, I would write the marketing emails and stuff like that, and David would give me ideas on how to do that, and we would answer people's questions and so forth. But at night we would wear ourselves out playing Magic the Gathering online, trying to discover the new deck and the new update. Literally, this was our life for months on end. And I mean, it was effective business, and we made thousands a month doing it. And there was a seed of something great in it. There really was a seed of something great in it. So anyways, all these people were coming to us like, oh, show us how to do this. And we were doing these huge scale launches. But the one thing we could never solve is either we did the R&D ourselves and were wiped out and could only work at a very small scale like the Magic business, or we are outsourcing the R&D to people who weren't great coaches of our customers. They were sometimes okay, sometimes they would be up and down. I'm not saying they weren't talentless, but we couldn't reach what we have with OMG. And we tried and tried. We even tried in the dating niche. And we got really good success with people. But there was a way in which it was not a full breakthrough until we met Greg Morrison, who's here with us today. And Greg can probably introduce his story from here. And if I have to kind of button up some of the holes, I will. But now'd be a great time for Greg to introduce himself.
Yeah, so I got my start in 2006, and I found a program that was called The Rich Jerk. It was one of the most popular programs back then, and I had a little bit of success back then. I made a couple $100,000, and then I was pretty young at the time. That was 12, 13 years ago now. So I'd made a couple $100,000. I sold a website for I think like $180,000, and I was 22 years old. So I kind of fell off. I went to the deep end, got into drugs, went down a bad road, and eventually I ran out of all the money after a few years. And I got back into a casino job. I was dealing cards at a casino, waking up at 3:30 in the morning, getting there by 4, off at noon, and that was my job every day. It really sucked going from being very financially secure and doing what I wanted when I wanted to going into that. But I went through the ringer. Eventually, I got a new girlfriend. I ended up getting her pregnant. Found out my son was on the way, and I was like, all right, like that was like my light bulb moment. Like it's time to turn it back around. So I went back on the internet and started searching back into like making money online again. It had been a couple years since I tried to do it. I found a program by Mike. It was called Bring the Fresh. And I got involved with that. And I think within, a couple months after going through the program and getting in it, I was starting to make money already. And, within 9 months, I'd made $1 million. And the way me and Mike connected is they had a forum there, and I would go on the forum and just kind of post my results. I would, just post like changes I was making with my websites and, how I was having my success and just trying to help people out. I was gracious of where I was and the success I was having, going through Mike's program. So I was just trying to give back and help people on the forum. And eventually Mike reached out to me and he said, how would you like to do a product together? And of course, I looked up to Mike. He's someone who's been in the business for a long time, and I was really excited. And that's kind of where our relationship started.
Now, when you said your relationship started and everything like that, what was the product at the time that Mike had, and what did you guys collab on for the first time?
Yeah, so the product Mike had was called Bring the Fresh. It was like it was an ebook with a forum, and that was pretty much ebook forum, right?
Yeah, it was the ebook forum with a few videos. We had a modest members area that had a few videos, and it was on search engine optimization, which I'll let Greg explain that because I've got a speedboat over here flying around, being a little bit loud.
Yeah, so I just learned everything from him and just started implementing it. And the thing with me, which I think Mike saw, I guess, with my post, is I'm not the best learner. Like I have trouble learning things. I don't think I have a learning disability, but it takes me a long time to learn things. So I think when I was able to but I make up for that through hard work. I'm relentless. If I want something, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna work until I get it. That's just my personality. But I do have trouble learning. It takes me a long time to learn things. So because of that, though, it's actually an advantage with teaching. I think Mike kind of picked up on that. He saw how I was teaching people through the forum, and because I have such trouble learning things, I understand the pain of learning. So when I teach things, I'm able to really break them down because I remember the pain clearly that I went through learning, what's being taught. So I think Mike kind of saw that in my post where I'm able to break things down really to a beginner level all the way up to, the more advanced levels.
So Mike, why search engine optimization when you got your start?
Yeah, it's a great question. So basically, when Netscape came out and all that kind of stuff, again, I was around, 1998, the year I registered my first website. That was, when Google, I think incorporated. So I was in it early days. We definitely got some amount of search engine traffic to my game store, online to my online game store, but I knew that there kind of had to be a way, to do it. So when I, do a better job. So when I first found out about the internet marketing world, a world of people that, would potentially know more about you and the internet, I got really excited. And one of the things I was on the lookout for was search engine optimization. and especially David Mills like really pushed me in that direction. And again, Greg, I appreciate you giving me all the credit, but David was really the one. Of course, I was impressed with you, but David was the one who said that that's a coach. You know, like he just felt like you're unmistakable in the way that you were on that forum, and there's a little bit of a backstory behind that. But regardless, so David and I really believed in search engine optimization, and David explains it this way: if you have a method for making money that includes irreducible complexity, this happens a lot in games where people will design a game deck or something like that, where you have to kind of win to win, where like they'll be like, well, if I get this card, and this card, you're screwed, like all in the first turn or two of the game. And it is true, if those things all happen, that person will have a high degree of success. The problem is that most of the time that doesn't happen, right? And so you can't get through a tournament that way, is the point. Like, you might win one game here or there, but for the most part you're going to get your butt kicked, right? So that's a problem that's irreducibly complex, where the problem is that all these conditions have to come together all at the same time, again and again and again and again. It's like if your profession was going to be gambling and going to blackjack tables and blindly betting blackjack, that's not a career. By the math, you'll be broke really, really fast. And so search engine optimization allows you to build a business without irreducible complexity. That's the real special nature of it, because of Greg. Not outside of Greg existing, I can't say that this is necessarily true, but I know for a fact that we are on the lookout for someone like Greg, very, very much so, and explicitly so. And we were in the middle of the internet marketing world, and we were especially in this SEO world, and we were especially watching, we had our own special SEO marketplace and our own special, SEO forum, and we really focused on developing people. So, we had our luck, made our luck. Like when we met Greg, we sure as hell didn't let go, and we haven't forever. Greg says he breaks things down for people, but what he does is he makes a site right in front of you from scratch, from his imagination, all the way to saying, okay, let's type this into Google. Okay, I'm going to register this website, or GoDaddy or whatever. I'm going to register this website here for XYZ reason, or sometimes they'll do it with an auction site, whatever, same basic idea. Then I'm going to perform this hard science on it. I'm going to do A, B, and C, and I'm going to do A, B, and C ruthlessly. And I'm going to do it again and again and right in front of you until this site ranks #1 on Google. Oh, see you later.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. All right, I'll see you soon, Miranda.
Yes.
All right, sorry, I had a guest taking off. So I was just actually explaining to Miranda like how it works, and she's like, that's just so inspiring. It's just really, really an amazing thing. So I think, to me, I'm excited for anybody who's watching this video. And Greg, how did you? I know I'm being interviewed and you're being interviewed, but I can't help but come up with a question for you right now. What made you come up with the idea to come up with this? Over the shoulder, step by step, nothing left out, where nothing's hidden. Every link is shown, every keystroke, every mouse click. Where did that concept come from?
I'm pretty sure David Mills gave it to me. I don't think I can take credit for that one. I think David Mills came up with the idea.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Anyways, I guess, credit to David. So, Ruan, hopefully that gives you a little bit more sense about that stuff in the background of things.
Yeah, I think when you definitely said the thing about mathematics, that's just what SEO is it's very statistical and it's very data driven. And I'm just inspired by it too. So I'm just curious because, like, Greg, like what's the most money you made from a site, and like what were you doing with it? Were you doing affiliate? Were you doing agency? Much what was the most money you made with the site?
So I've had a client paying me up to $200,000 in a single month. Then I've had an affiliate site do as much as $50,000 a month profit. So.
Yeah, and the affiliate site, what were you doing? Amazon? Were you selling an info product?
Yeah, it was actually electronic cigarettes. So, I like to get into affiliate niches where I'm interested in. And I used to smoke, I was into drugs. I was a smoker. In order to get off the cigarettes, I actually I started doing e-cigarettes, and eventually I got off the e-cigarettes as well. So it's something I believed in. It's something that got me to quit smoking. I could just tell when I was smoking them, they're not as toxic as regular cigarettes. Even though I don't think they're healthy, they're definitely not as toxic. And I think they're a good gateway to get off of regular cigarettes. So it was something I believed in that I thought could help people, but at the same time, I get to make a lot of money selling them. So,
yeah. No, absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah. I've never done an affiliate site, but I know a lot of people making money with it.
Yeah, affiliate's awesome because you can pretty much, once you're ranking the way that we teach, you can pretty much sit and just make money. I have an affiliate site now. It's been 3 or 4 years. It took me, I think it was like 3 or 4 grand into it to make. Took me, a couple months, maybe total 20 hours, but a couple months of building it, and it's been making $10,000 to $15,000 a month on autopilot for the last few years. So it's harder to get into. It's harder to learn because you got to. It's a little more competitive with the rankings, and you got to know conversion a little bit. You got to kind of understand conversion. So there's a little more to it. Local is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to rank. It's a lot easier to get, just get clients.
Easy freaking money. Local is so easy.
I definitely highly recommend beginners start with local, but affiliate's great. Once you kind of get your foot in the door.
Yeah, yeah. Mike, I don't have a cute puppy, but I have my little Fallout guy. I'm going to put here.
I don't have just one cute puppy.
I have a couple cute kids. They're just not with me.
Well, she stays quiet as a little Fallout guy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And all right, cool. So how's SEO changed since when you guys started and today?
Oh man, that's a good question. So when I first started, it's changed, in some ways for the better. In some ways it's harder. It's almost easier now because so many people just don't get it. Like they don't understand what's going on. Back in the day, like when I first started, you could pretty much throw links at a website and use what's called exact match anchor text. So anchor text is basically like if you make a link to a website, what that link says is the anchor text, right? So you could basically just build a whole bunch of links and have, an anchor text, which is the keyword you want to rank for as the anchor text, and just do that a whole bunch and just rank really quickly.
You would do things like portlandalcoholism.com, right? You would register portlandalcoholism.com, .net, and .org.
Right.
You would go on to say mp3.com. And, you wouldn't do it personally. Like you'd have outsourcers from India or Philippines. I think you use a lot of Filipinos, and they would register what are called profiles, right, on these various different sites. And the profiles would have a link back to Greg's portlandalcoholism.com site. And it would be hundreds of those, or even 1,000 more of those links. And that was it. Site would rank number one. Greg would sell it for 10 grand and rinse and repeat.
Yep. So that's, again, you could just send links like that, exact match anchor text. You'd rank instantly almost. Now it's transitioned over the years slowly, but now it's a lot slower. Like you send a link, it might not kick in for a month from now. You can't over optimize your anchor text, which means you can't use too much of the same anchor text. So you can't just send a whole bunch of links with your specific anchor text you want to rank for in there. It's got to be a certain percentage. So they've gotten smarter with determining, anchor text percentages. They got smarter with, link quality. And then they also got smarter with not letting new sites rank as quick, because they don't need to. It's Google. They dominate the search engines. So why are they going to let a brand new site come in and take over their trusted results? So they've just gotten a lot smarter. But because of that, so many people have left, and it's wide open, and no one knows what's working anymore. No one's willing to do the work to dig and to be patient enough to get the results from, what their sites are doing. So everyone's kind of jumping out, which is great. So yeah, it's a little harder in the fact that you got to be more patient and it takes longer, but that's the whole point why we do Over the Shoulder series, where we rank a site in front of you. We don't just say, hey, here's our training, here's what's working. We say, okay, hey, here's our training, here's what's working. Okay, now let me show you it work. I'm going to build this site. We're going to start from scratch. Here, I'm going to register the domain. We're going to put up the content. Here's how I put it up. Here's how you add a post. Here's how you add images, okay? All right, next step, we're going to start building links to this. Here's why I'm building this link. Here's what you need to put here. Here's what you need to put there. And they get to see the training step-by-step in action. I think that's really what sets us apart. Is it's not just training, it's training in action, which you then see the results of. You see, oh, this training actually worked. I can do this. So,
and they also have Greg every week where they can go to Greg and ask Greg their specific questions. And I'll tell you this right now, the thing that the most successful OMGers have in common is they're on Greg's webinars and they're on David Mills's webinars. And that's just actually live, actually asking questions. It's a really important tip. Greg, even before you said that the competition has fled, something that came to my mind and that can be really valuable for people. So we've been talking a little bit about gaming. And nowadays there's a Magic the Gathering. So Magic the Gathering is this strategy game. So just imagine that whatever strategy game means to you, it's basically where there's math has a lot to do with the game, like mathematical certainty and decisions that are based on math. And there can be some gamesmanship involved and bluffing and stuff like that. But at the heart of the game, like poker is like this, it's just not complex enough, right? Which is why me and David didn't go into it. So imagine that there's Magic and there's another game called Hearthstone. This is for like your viewers, all right? So just imagine there's two different games. And imagine that they both have like $1 million top prize, right? So Magic has $1 million top prize for whatever their world championship that year. And let's imagine Hearthstone has $1 million prize. They don't really have these kinds of prizes, or else David and I might have kept playing. But let's just imagine they did, okay? So now let's change the names from, and it's like a tournament, right? Now let's change the names from Magic to SEO, to Google SEO, and let's change Hearthstone to Facebook ads, right? And now let's say everyone, all the top, because really what Google did, I gave this big speech at AWA, Affiliate World Asia, it's a 3,000 person event in Bangkok, Thailand. And one of the things I said is that what the Google updates have been about is a propaganda campaign to get people, to get the smarties off of the Google tournament and onto the Facebook tournament. You know, like I'm kind of stretching metaphors here, but I think that there's probably some aha moments going on. Okay, so much of why David Mills wanted us in SEO was SEO has the appearance of being the wrong place to be when it's really the right place to be. The elephant in the room, and we have an upcoming webinar, depending on when you watch this video. But if you go to omgmachines.com, we have an upcoming webinar this week. It's called the Elephant in the Room webinar, and what it's about is that 51% of the organic traffic, 51% of the traffic that's going on the internet right now is going through organic search, and the lion's share of that is Google. And like, if you don't understand this, you're missing out, and other people are chasing. Yes, there's money in Facebook ads. Like I said, it's $1 million tournament. Problem is, 9 out of 10 people in the seats around you, you look to your left, you look to your right. On Facebook, you're going to see two sharks, right? You look to your left and you look to your right. In Google, you're going to see empty seats, right? You know, for your competition, you're going to see people not showing up to their game against you. That's what it's like for you, Greg. It's like, you know, you call to your next round in the tournament and the person across the street from you is like not even playing. Like there's no competition.
Yeah, you know what it is like. Most people, again, they haven't been able to follow the algorithm like I have. You know, like you and David allowed me to do just search engine optimization for the last 6-7 years. Like, I mean, that's what I do all day long. So Google slowly transitioned their algorithm, right? Like they're slowly making small changes, and people try to jump in when they're, you know, like I jumped in when they're here, right? I jumped in when they're way at the bottom, their initial changes. People are trying to jump in when they're right here and they have no idea what's going on. But I've been able to follow them on this path all the way up. So I've caught all these little changes and it's just accrued, right? So I say, oh, here's this change, here's this change, here's this change.
And you've taught hundreds of people while you did it and seen, like, and you had to teach them face-to-face, full accountability, right, to those people. And you see them at OMG Live in person. They're coming up to you, buying you beers, telling you, oh, it's $30,000 a month for me. But like, because you get real world feedback. You're not just, you know, it's not theory for you. Even ranking the sites, you see the value for yourself, for our clients, for clients that you and I have, and for our members.
Yeah, and again, our big advantage is we've been following it since the beginning. Like, I feel bad for people who try to jump in right now with no guidance, because I would have no idea what's going on. It's just I've been able to follow it since the beginning. You know, I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I followed it from the beginning, and I was able to do SEO all day to follow it.
So a lot of people, they have like shiny object syndrome, where they kind of like hop back and forth to everything. What made you two in particular want to stick with SEO?
It's always worked since the beginning. It's made us so much money from the beginning, you know, because then again, you have those people who jump in, they jumped in maybe in 2016 where so many changes happen and they don't know what's going on. So like, screw this, like this is too hard. I'm not waiting 6 months for a site to rank. I'm like, look, like you got to wait 6 months for, some sites to rank, but you put in a few hours of work. As long as you have the confidence to know what you're doing is right, which, you know, is why we do over the shorter series, then you're good. You just do the work initially, you let it sit, you let it age, and 6 months later you're ranking. And the cool thing with SEO is it's not like ads where you got to keep putting in money, keep putting in money, keep putting in money. Once you get a website ranking #1, you don't touch it. Like your investment is done and it just sits there and it ranks for you. I mean, we have example sites from 2014, 2015 still ranking that I haven't touched since a few years ago. So. That's the cool thing about SEO.
And Mike, what made you want to stick with it?
Oh, I mean, basically what Greg said. We also, our partner David Mills is a literal strategic genius. He's ridiculously successful. By the way, Ocean View, everybody. It's a pretty day here. David just really kept us behind Greg and kept things kind of building around Greg. And we just, not only do we have success, but we see people having continuous success with our methods and stuff like that. And we do it ourselves. I mean, we do like Greg said. I mean, Greg's such a perfect example. From he's had made millions on client stuff. He's made millions on affiliate stuff. So you build up like a certain belief. For me, I'm face to face with our members all the time, and I'm also face to face with my clients. This is Miami. I want to kind of point something out to just everyone who's watching this. This is the other side of my house.
I hope he didn't cut out.
Yeah, we might have lost him. Outside of my hat.
Yeah, right. Oh man, I'm gonna send him another link just in case.
Okay.
Oh,
there he is. You're back, Mike? Cut out for a second.
I'm back. I was trying to show you guys. I think I wandered out of my internet. So that's, you'll just have to take it for my word for it. That's Miami behind me, and there's money flying around all over the place back there. There's a dentist right here. Okay, there's a little grocery store here. There's a little liquor store right over here. Like 5 more restaurants. All these people. There's a realtor, real estate agents. There's all fertility clinics, and all of them are paying for SEO. And if they're not paying for SEO, they're going to be putting up a for rent sign pretty soon on that person's location until someone who's willing to pay for SEO is ready to move in. And let me put it this way: if there's two buckets of people out there that are business owners, and one bucket are people who are going to invest in digital marketing and SEO, and the other bucket is people who are too cheap, then who do you think is going to be in business 5 years from now? Like, people from which bucket? And I think that's the thing that people need to realize, is that it's just the right place to be. And with Facebook ads, the problem is there's just too many sharks. That's just the bottom line. I would say the same thing if there was just zillions of people in SEO and there was nobody in Facebook ads. I would say, hey, get in Facebook ads. It's strategic.
Look, there's also 3.5 billion searches per day on Google.
Yeah.
Billion.
Yeah.
That's over $1 trillion a year.
Very interesting. Yeah, they're all targeted. They all have the buyer intent rather than you have them to smack an ad in front of someone's face.
Exactly. You know exactly what they're searching for.
Well, and again, I'm telling you this right now. If all the sharks jumped in from Facebook onto SEO, I would jump onto Facebook and be like, awesome, right? I'd be like, hey, Greg, I got a new career for us, literally. But it's just the bottom line is that Google just did such a good job of terrorizing the smarties to get out of SEO and, to get into, and maybe just Google just didn't count on Greg, but, too bad. Our members are the ones that are laughing all the way to the bank. So I'm cool with it.
Yeah. How many millionaires did you guys have?
I don't know. I think we have a bigger double comma club than ClickFunnels does. I don't know the exact number. I'll tell you, we did a recent survey of our members that really shocked me. Actually, I didn't conduct it. Matt Lights wanted to, he's one of our members. We had 3 members this year hit the Inc. 1000, and Matt was one of them. And he really wanted to pay it forward to OMG. He's a real whiz with these bots, and we wanted a bot. So he's like, hey, you want me to make you a bot? And I was like, sure. And so he made us a bot, and I sent out a blast to my list saying, hey, we've got a new bot. But unbeknownst to me, Matt put a survey in there of how our customers were doing, with their SEO projects and stuff like that. And it was not just our prospects, but also our customers. Sorry, just not just our customers, but we opened it up to everybody. Even people who just read my emails or who haven't jumped in yet, that's fine. And so it turned out that between around 50% of the people who responded, again, a lot of those people haven't even bought our product yet, are making between $0 and $40,000 per month with what we do, according to them. And then the next about 27%, we're making between 40 and 100,000. And then the last 23% were making $100,000 or more, including 3 people that we know of who hit the Inc. 1000, including, I don't know how many are making $100,000 a month, a lot. You know, I mean, we've gotten so many reports in, and we're really grateful. I mean, at this point, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reports from people making at least $10,000 a month. You can go to, I have a whole Instagram just to help me organize it. It's Instagram.com/powered by OMG would be the place to find that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I've run into a lot of OMGers that are making a significant amount of money. Cotton Grammer being one of them. Alex Becker, I was just at his house actually not too long ago, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's killing it, obviously. But we're hitting close to the 4 p.m. mark. So if there's anything that you guys want to leave off with, now would be the time.
I'll let you go, Mike.
Oh, sure.
Don't all go at once.
No, this is great. I appreciated this event. Like I said, we have a tremendous elephant in the room webinar this week. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this event, which I thought was really, really cool. And I would go to omgmachines.com and sign up for the webinar. Make sure to attend live, and Greg Morrison will be there. The great David Mills, who we've been telling you about, will be there. And actually, it's an amazing week-long event. We call it OMG Week. Whenever we open up our OMG program, we have a week-long event that's really incredible. Every single day has a new reveal and something cool going on. And one of the big exciting points is going to be Wednesday. So you'll get to see more. You'll get to see site reveals and big stats and cool distinctions, and just get a whole sense of a real energy that's going on behind what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not good with the marketing. I'm not Mike. I'm not good at promotions and stuff like that. I'm just good at teaching SEO. Like, if you're interested in learning SEO, that's one of the things I can say I'm good at is teaching SEO, breaking it down for beginners, because I can remember the pains that I went through learning SEO, and I know the pains that people go through being a beginner. I've gone through a lot of training for other type of stuff like Facebook ads, and one of the big things is people miss the beginner steps. And when you have a beginner who's missing a beginner step, they get to the semi and even the novice stuff. They're like, well, I don't even understand how to do this, and it just frustrates them and it sets them back. I understand all that. I've been teaching for a long time, and I have trouble learning. So I make sure to always cover the extreme basics. So if SEO is something you're interested in, I'd be glad to help you learn it. And that's all I got.
All right. And for everybody wondering, I'm going to leave the link to the webinar down below, so you should go check that out for sure. I'll probably be there, to be honest. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Greg and Mike, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Mike, I've been reading your email for probably like 8 months now. Every email.
Awesome.
That's
awesome. Oh, that's great.
I still read them all too, Mike.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoy them. Well, thanks guys very much. And we will see you guys on the inside. It's omgmachines.com.